Hi guys, in the last video you've learned how to bring Android to your desktop by using emulators. Now it's time to know a bit more about the emulator. As you see, a toolbar is next to the emulator. This toolbar comes with a bunch of icons that give you the ability to access to some features of the emulator. When you hover over each icon, it shows you a tooltip displaying the icon's purpose and the shortcut key. Let's review one by one. The first icon in the toolbar is a power button that simulates the hardware power button on a real Android device. A quick click on it will lock the device and turn off the screen. If you click again, it will unlock the device and turn on the screen. But a long click will show you the power menu. Okay. Volume up and volume down let you adjust media volume, ringer volume, and alarm volume. You can also rotate the emulator by using rotate left and rotate right buttons. The next button is take a screenshot. This button takes screen captures of the emulator. By default, the capture image is stored on the desktop. The enter zoom mode is used to zoom in on the emulator screen. Click the enter zoom mode button again to return to the original state. Also, we have back, home, and overview buttons here. We can use the back and the overview buttons to easily switch between the apps and screens we have opened. We can also bring the home screen to the foreground by using the home button. Note that we can gain access to some other features by using more button. If you click on this icon, a window appears giving you extra options to control the emulator. This window is called Extended Controls. The first item in this window is location. By using this item, we can send simulated location information to the emulator. So if I define a latitude and longitude and press send, a simulated single location is sent to the emulator. We can also send a series of locations to the emulator by using GPX or KPL coordinate files. In fact, we can mimic the movement of the device by using these coordinate files. A GPX file contains a series of locations that describe and in fact simulates a path. It stores waypoints, tracks, and routes. The next item in this window is cellular. In this section, we can simulate a cellular connection by defining the network type, signal strength, voice status, and data status. Battery is another item in this window. It can define how much the battery is charging on your emulator, or we can connect a simulated AC charger to the emulator or disconnect it. As you see, the changes are applied immediately to the emulator. So if I disconnect the charger and decrease the charger level to 10%, we will get this message. And if I set the charger level to 0, the phone must be turned off. Another item is the phone. By using this item, we can simulate a phone call. So if I press this button, call device, I will have a call from this number. As you see, I have a call from this number that I can answer or decline. This number can be any number desired, so I can change it easily by typing a new number and test it again. Okay. Also, there is an option to simulate SMS messages. Type the message you wish to send to the emulator and press the send button. Generally, this item, the phone, is useful when your application is message-based or call-based. So this section is handy if your application needs to react to incoming calls or SMS messages. And the next item is directional pad or D-pad. D-pad is useful for in-app navigation. I mean, it's useful when your app needs directional controls such as left, right, up and down. So for example, if you're developing a 2D game, like a new kind of Tetris game, you can use D-pad as a game controller. But there is a message here that says D-pad is disabled in the emulator. To enable D-pad in your emulator, close it and enter to users and your username, open .android avd and after opening this folder, enter the folder that has your emulator name. Find and open this file search for hw.dpad and change its value from no to yes, and then close and save the file. Okay, now let's open the emulator again. Okay, this time D-pad is enabled on this emulator. Also, we have microphone here and a fingerprint, an option that gives us the opportunity to simulate the fingerprint sensor. Suppose that you're developing an Android login screen app, so you're able to test fingerprint authentication without the need of a real Android device containing a fingerprint sensor. In this window, 10 different fingers are simulated. We can choose any of them and press the touch the sensor button. Let's have a closer look at how it works. I want to set a fingerprint authentication for this emulator. So let's from the settings menu, search for fingerprint. First of all, we need to add a pin. And then we can set a fingerprint authentication. For example, let me select finger 7 and touch the sensor. Okay. Now if I lock the emulator and try to unlock it, I need to authenticate myself. So I touch the fingerprint sensor, finger number 7, and as you see, the user authentication successfully is done. Obviously, it's not working with a different finger. Okay, and here we have virtual sensors. This tab is a group of other hardware sensors that are simulated here. If you need to simulate rotation, shaking, or movement of an Android device, you can use this section. For another example, the light sensor can be simulated by using this bar. And as you may know, a light sensor measures the current illumination in a lux unit. Or for example, if your app is going to measure the air pressure, this virtual sensor will be handy. And finally, we can report bugs by sending a message and a bug report data to Google by using bug report item. And the settings options gives you a set of configurations of the emulator. You can choose a theme for the emulator or specify the location of the screenshots you had taken by using this button. There is a final note here related to the emulators. You can open as many emulators as you want at the same time. This is usually useful when you're developing server-based apps and want to test features like push notifications. There are other interesting things to do, such as sending SMS messages between multiple emulator instances. To do so, first we need to find each emulator's phone number. You must enable this option. The number shown here is the emulator's phone numbers. Okay. And now by using these phone numbers, we can send SMS messages or make phone calls between emulators.